The first step in building a quiz is to organize and enter your questions into your course's question bank. To do this, go to the Settings block, expand Course Administration, then expand Question Bank, then select Categories. Enter a name for your questions. This will help you keep your question bank organized. It's better to enter a topic or theme rather than something like Test 1 or Quiz 2. You should create multiple categories to keep your questions well organized. For this demo, I'm building a quiz on anatomy and physiology, so that's what I'll title this category. From now on, anyone who wants to add questions related to this topic will file it under this category. Then click Add Category. Now that we've created a category for our question bank, we can now begin creating actual questions for this specific category. To do this, you would go to the Settings block, expand Course Administration, expand Question Bank, and then select Questions. Next, you would click on Create a New Question. Now, because the objective of this video is how to set up a quiz, I won't discuss creating questions. For tutorials on how to create questions, please see my other videos. For the purposes of this video, the 5 questions shown here will be the questions we created for this category. So now that we've created a category in our question bank, and we've created questions for this category, we're now ready to set up our quiz. First, make sure that you turn editing on in the upper right corner of the page. Click Add an Activity and select Quiz. First, name your quiz. Then type an introduction to your quiz. Since this box will be the first screen that your students will see before starting the quiz, it's here where you may want to put instructions. Next, customize your quiz. Most options are self-explanatory, and if not, you can click on the question mark to get more information on how each specific option will affect your quiz. Also, if you want to read the Moodle wiki page for all information about Moodle quizzes, just scroll to the bottom of this page and click on Moodle Docs for this page. Let's just quickly run through some of the less obvious options so that you feel comfortable with them. If you want this quiz to appear in the gradebook under a specific category, then you'll have to create a category by going to the Settings block, selecting Grades, then Categories and Items, and finally by selecting Add Category. Once you've created a category, you'll be able to select it from this drop-down menu and place this quiz in the desired category in the gradebook. How questions behave is an important option to consider for all your quizzes. To learn more about these options, Google Question Behaviors - Moodle Docs. I usually leave the review options alone. The overall feedback section is where you can decide what will be displayed at the end of the quiz. Based on what a student scores, you can give specific feedback. For instance, if you want to give feedback for any score between 100% and 80%, such as great work or something more meaningful, then enter 80% for the first grade boundary, and enter your feedback here. And this will represent the feedback for any student that scores between 100% and 80%. Now let's say that for any score between 50 and 80, we want to tell these students that they need more work. So we'll type need more work in this box, and we'll click and enter 50%. And finally, for anything below 50, we'll tell these students to come see us after class. Then there are a few other options to consider, and finally click Save and Return to Course. Now we have the framework set up for our Moodle quiz, but with no questions. You'll notice that if you click on the hand and pencil icon, it will take you back to the editing page we were just on. To add questions to your quiz, click on the quiz name. Now, once you've clicked on the quiz name, you'll notice that a new block has appeared. If you look at the settings block, you'll notice that you now have several new settings for quiz administration, such as edit settings, edit quiz, preview, permissions, etc. If you click on edit settings, this will bring you back to the settings page we were just on. If you click on edit quiz, this will allow you to start adding questions to your quiz. Let's add the first question. I'll select the question by clicking the box beside the question name, then click Add to Quiz. This will add the question to the first page of the quiz. You'll notice that beside the name of the question there are two icons. A magnifying glass if you want to preview the question, as well as a hand and pencil icon if you want to edit this specific question. Just remember though, if you edit the question here, you change it for good, meaning you also change this question as it appears in the question bank. Now let's add the remaining questions to our quiz. You'll notice other options on this page as well. You can create a new question, you can change the order of how questions will appear, and you can add or delete questions. Now, you can preview the quiz by going to the settings block and clicking preview. And that's it. You've created a Moodle quiz.